Welcome to Nintendo Dads episode 567. On this week's episode, we talk about Nintendo gives us a shadow drop, Virtual Boy is out, a little dash of rumors, and timeout with Jesse. Fleshy, you know what to do.
Everybody. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? How you doing, Jesse? Welcome to the Nintendo Dads.
Yeah, someone goes, I think Jesse's sharing the wrong screen. No, I was sharing the right screen. I just had my notepad still up, blocking my face.
Blocking your face. I was going to say something to you, too. It was like, that's why I was thrown off.
I figured it out.
How do I start this? But no, there we go. So it's just you and I, Jesse. It's just you and me hanging out.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done this.
The Jesse and Tim show. Justin is in Tokyo trying to buy out Nintendo, and Marty
that's not working well.
Marty is somewhere else trying to attack it from another angle.
Depends on your point of view. Buying out Nintendo like Tencent would, no, that's not going to working well, but
right.
Coming home with a bag full of merchandise, that's working very well for him.
Yeah, I know. He's been sharing a lot of pictures from there, and I'm like, if I have gone there, I would had to have figured out either bring in another suitcase, take back with me full of stuff, or ship it back, you know.
Well, even when we did that New York thing, I shipped
to ship stuff. Yeah.
I shipped a box of stuff back to myself.
Yeah,
I'm just glad there was a FedEx or UPS store within walking distance that was still open.
Yes,
otherwise, I would have been screwed.
That worked out very well because it was like right across the street, wasn't it? Like from the Nintendo store.
Yeah, it was like a 5 minute, less than a 5 minute walk.
Yeah,
maybe a half block up.
So how you been this week, Jesse?
It's been a weird week. It's been a whole weird year so far at work. Everything that can go wrong has, and we're finding new ways to mess things up, apparently.
You too, huh?
Yeah,
it seems to be going around.
Yeah, welcome to 2026.
It's like, you don't need to just have your normal, new goals for 2026. Let's throw in some new things, that you got to handle and deal with.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you mentioned goals, and, goals is... I've always thought it has been a little bit of a joke. They've been lax over the last few years, especially since 2020. But slowly, the goal setting is going back to the old GE way of things, back before our company split off from them.
Yeah,
and that's not a good thing. You don't want to go back to that method of goals.
No. Yeah, we'll have to talk business later on and just kind of dig into that later. But until then, let's talk about some news that we had going on with Nintendo over the week. All right, I can't be as smooth as Marty is at this, but I'll try my best. The news and the ad-free version of this podcast is brought to you by our subscribers at patreon.com/NintendoDads and Twitch. So don't forget, all of y'all who subscribe to us with Twitch, especially even your Amazon Prime free month that you get. If you subscribe with that, you get to get our ad-free version, which we post in our Discord. So not only can you get it on the patreon.com/NintendoDads there, but if you're in our Discord, you can get it there where we drop the ad-free version of our show there. So a huge thanks to all our Patreons and Twitch subscribers for helping us create more great Nintendo Dads content and for making our community a better place. And by that means, yes, when you do subscribe for at least $1 via Patreon, you get to access our Discord community. So that means, yes, you have to pay to get in. Otherwise, you get bounced. We have a bouncer, and it's $1. So, but it helps keep things, under control. We don't have just anybody coming in there, and it keeps the community very community-like, right? So, with that, let's just jump right into the news. We got a couple new Nintendo highlights today, news highlights, starting with Nintendo shadow dropping Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, I can't talk, Nintendo Switch 2 edition today.
It's a lot of additions.
There's a lot of additions. I forget which game it was. They dropped one of the editions when they came out with the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of it. So I'm surprised Nintendo didn't do that here with Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Nintendo Switch 2 edition. So
yeah,
the release.
I think a lot of people were hoping to see 3 get this treatment as opposed to X, but doesn't mean it's not coming.
True. Yeah, I wonder if they will do a Nintendo Switch edition of all 3 of those.
I'm sure they will over time.
Well, the release includes a performance upgrade. So the Switch 2 version supports 4K resolution at 60 frames per second on TV mode and 1080p at 60 frames per second in handheld mode. Pricing is $60 for the full digital version or $65 depending on which version you get, right? So if you get the Switch version, you pay $60, you get the Switch 2 version at $65. But then if you got the Switch version and you eventually get the Switch 2, you can do the upgrade path for $5.
Right.
That's what I did.
Is the Switch 1 version locked at 30 frames?
That is a good question. I don't remember if that was. It looked beautiful even when we got it on the Switch. It looked great.
Well, yeah. So I remember 3 looked nice, but I think it was also 30 frames.
Yeah. So, but yeah, there's a physical release. I'll finish this out and then I'll mention something else. Physical release is coming out April 16th. So if you want to wait for a physical version, that'll be out then. The features also included in this version retains the 32-player online multiplayer and additional story content introduced in the 2025 Switch port. So with that said, I did do a quick first look of this right before we did started doing the podcast. So I pushed out the first look of it out there. You can go take a look. It's not recorded in 4K, but it is recorded in 1080p, 60 frames per second. So you can see how smooth it is. But it does look great. Like, because it was funny too, because I hadn't played it since I did the first look on the Switch.
Okay.
And when I booted it back up, it booted right where I left off.
Oh, I was hoping it would.
Right into the Switch 2 version. So it was like,
so
maybe at some point I'll be able to splice the 2 videos.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I did get a code for this, so I have the Switch 2 edition downloaded and in my backlog, but there are probably 3 or 4 games I want to play before I get to this, so it'll be a bit.
Yeah.
And Justin knows it'll be a bit. But I just added another 120 hour game to my backlog. Yay
Nice.
me.
Yay. Yeah, so we do have possibly another first look of it coming out. We'll see if somebody else takes it and does a look on it, so you might get a different perspective. So, and Friendo says it is buttery smooth, Tim. So yes, it is very. And so basically, the mode that I shared when I was playing it is the same view you'd get in handheld. So it's going to look very nice in handheld. Anything else on that topic there, Jesse, on the Chronicles X?
I don't think so. Well, the way I've got my setup now, because since I had to downgrade the stream to 1080p to make Twitch happy, is if I'm still capturing 4K into my system, but then my system is downgrading it to 1080p. So I don't know if that makes any visual difference versus just capturing 1080p directly. I don't know if that changes anything or not.
Yeah. I'll have to keep that in mind. I'm waiting. I was thinking, okay, I'm going to do it in 4K, but I forgot I don't have a 4K equipment right now. So I'm still
Yeah.
waiting for
you need a 4K equipment, then you need a computer that's happy with it, because
yeah.
I can tell you my old computer would not have liked it.
Right.
Yeah.
I have the
So
Genki capture card that's coming that'll be able to capture 4K. And then next I have to upgrade my monitor here to do
yeah,
4K.
you'll definitely need a 4, because if you're using OBS to capture footage, you need to have a 4K display for it to save 4K, because it'll only go as high as your highest monitor.
Yeah, I was realizing that when I was thinking like, oh, I could, do the 4K, and then I was like, oh wait, I can't unless I
Yeah,
connect it to my
which is
TV.
when which is what, again, when I got finished building this new machine last year, I got two
Yeah,
4K displays, 1, 2.
yeah, nice. Well, eventually we'll be able to do that, but again, there's still other things that could cause it not to work so well, because like you said, there's the Twitch challenges that we had. I know YouTube will allow it if we have
Yeah,
it
YouTube was
recorded.
fine.
Yeah,
And apparently, and Twitch, if I remember right, still took the video just fine as a VOD. It just wouldn't live
yeah, it
stream
just
it.
wouldn't do a live stream. Yeah, that's weird.
Anyway, but yeah, if you're deciding you want to do not Twitch, or then 4K works great.
Yep. All right. The other thing too, Virtual Boy NSO app is now available. Jesse, you dropped a unboxing on our channel.
Yes, that I had the real Virtual Boy next to it, so we can do side by side comparisons. And Andre's done similar videos on his
Yeah.
channel.
I liked
And
it too, and I watched your video. I liked seeing when you were comparing the two, and they looked so close,
yeah,
and you even used the
they're
stand on it, which was really
yeah,
cool.
the stands are identical. In fact,
Yeah.
it took me a while to figure out how to detach it, but I did put the old Virtual Boy on the new stand, and it worked.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
And I was able to figure out how it detached again, and put in the new Virtual Boy, put in the Switch, and yeah, I did this on Monday before it launched in North America, because I downloaded the Japanese version,
That's right.
and
Yeah.
it worked great. I just then I completely forgot about it. I did trigger the download of the North American release of the app today, so
Yeah.
that's now on my Switch. I just haven't tried it yet. And then in the
Yeah.
end of my unboxing video, I attempted to launch it on docked, and record the footage, and it just says you must undock to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
That's
if you do try to play while it's in desktop mode, it technically is playable if you're okay with an image of this, about the size
two
of
of them.
two
Yeah.
postage stamps on top of each other.
Right. You could get one of those magnifying things, that they have for your phones where you can,
Like I had for my Game Boy back in the 80s.
yeah, you get one of those and then you can
Yeah,
play it.
exactly.
I wonder if at some point Nintendo is going to allow you to play those games without the Virtual Boy accessory.
It's definitely possible.
Yeah.
Just make the left eye full screen. Done. You're just
Right.
gonna lose the 3D aspect,
You won't be
which
able to do 3D,
in
right?
some games is useful, like the 3D Tetris, like in Mario Clash.
Right.
But like in WarioWare, not really essential. You can play it without it.
If you want the full experience, you'll get either the cardboard thing or the full Virtual Boy replica. Otherwise, I I I mean, at some point maybe. I
Yeah,
know right now they want to sell those
I did.
accessories.
After I played it for a bit on Monday, I joked that you get the same back pain as you did as if you played on a real Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
Because I wish it came with the Virtual Boy controller, because
Oh yeah.
it is a unique controller. It's
Mhm.
got dual D-pads.
Yeah.
Before there was dual analog. So this was
Right.
before PS1.
Yeah. Yeah,
did
that's a good
dual.
point. I forgot about that. Maybe that'll be a secondary thing they come out with it, depending on
Will
how
there be a
popular it is.
Virtual Boy Tetris 99 theme? I hope so. I would get that.
That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. I'd dig that.
Music's kind of lousy, but visually it might be fun.
I'm looking forward to messing around with that this weekend. So I have mine as well, but
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if I was going to break out the replica version and try it out, or if I was going to wait for the cardboard model.
Yeah, and one of Andre's videos, he says like the next best thing is to use the N64 controller.
Okay.
The downside is you lose your select button, which affects two or three games. But the 4 C buttons work just fine without any configuration changes as the right D-pad.
Ah, okay.
And then you still have your A and B separately.
That's a good idea. Something to keep in mind. So accessories and requirements subscription, you must be a member of Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack. Accessories is to experience the intended 3D effect. You must use a dedicated accessory that holds the Switch console, such as the replica accessory, which is $99.99 USD. A plastic viewer modeled after the original Virtual Boy hardware. Then there's the cardboard model, which is $24.99, which is a budget-friendly alternative similar to Nintendo Labo.
And I think you have to be an NSO subscriber to even order these items.
Yes. Yep. You got to have that subscription first, not just for the games, but in order to order these, just like the controllers. Compatibility, the service is compatible with the standard Switch and Switch 2, but the Nintendo Switch Lite is not supported due to its design.
Yeah, the Switch 2 mounting connector is pre-installed, but if you don't have a Switch 2 and you want to do this on your Switch 1, you'll have to take off the screws, remove it, and replace it with the Switch bracket that is like really hidden on the bottom of the box. Like I forgot to unpack it when I did my unboxing. It was that hidden.
All right. The launch titles, which we have to play as 3D Tetris, Galactic Pinball, Golf, The Mansion of Innsmouth, Red Alarm, Telerobo Boxer, or Telero Boxer.
I'm told that's very Punch Out like in the way it plays,
which a lot of people are probably liking. And then of course Virtual Boy Wario Land. So those are all the ones that we can play now. And I have not played any of them, so I'm looking forward to trying all of them. Jesse, you have the original, so
yeah, I have the original, and I have maybe 8 to 10 games for it. But the only game I remember ever really playing was Mario Clash, which will be one of the future coming games.
Yes,
think of that as a sequel to Mario Brothers. You know, in the sewer with pipes type of,
and in 3D.
Yes, single screen environment, but in 3D, of which the depth does matter. So we'll want the 3D effect for that.
All right.
And then the only game I played is Wario Land. I think I played the first 2 stages before I put it away, before my back says take a break.
All right. I heard that was probably the best of the bunch of the games is Wario Land.
Yeah, most of the games are not great, but so again, I'm not a Wario Land fan anyway, but it's probably the best version of Wario Land I've played in a while.
Okay.
And so it's probably one of the better games on the system.
All right. There are a couple of games that are coming that were never released, such as Zero Racers and Dragon Hopper or D Hopper. So Zero Racers, I guess, is supposed to be like F-Zero.
So the F-Zero universe.
Yeah.
That's
so I'm looking forward to trying that one.
I've never even heard of the game. Didn't know it existed until they mentioned it in the trailer.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if it was ever announced at some point. Maybe it was in
It,
a Nintendo Power or
yeah, it might have
something.
been in an Obscure magazine or EGM
Yeah.
back in the day or something.
And then, of course, we got some other classics that'll be coming. Like you mentioned, Mario Clash, Mario's Tennis, Jack Bros, Space Invaders Virtual Collection, Vertical Force, Virtual Bowling, and V Tetris.
Yeah, so like 2 Tetris games on the system that has 20 games total. Yeah, I am looking forward to Jack Brothers. I've never played that, and which I think is the first time anything Shin Megami Tensei was released in North America.
Okay.
And then also looking forward to trying Space Invaders.
Then Friendo asks, no virtual Picross?
I don't know if my brain could handle playing Picross on that screen. 2 inches
I
of a
wonder
screen.
I wonder if there's going to be any other surprises for that system, for the classic system. Like that we got, the unreleased gems, they call it.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's any other surprises that may come.
Or like what the homebrew community might do now that they've got once they're able to make a game on the Switch that has the visual representation
Yeah.
where it needs to be, they can make a Virtual Boy game by making a Switch game.
Yeah. That's true. I didn't even think of that. Some of the key features also, not to forget, the app includes modern quality of life improvements such as a spend saves, remappable controls, and a rewind feature that usually comes with all of the, NSO games. And a future update is also planned to allow players to switch the classic red and black palette to other colors like white, green, or yellow.
My friend says, or I mean, yeah, it says Mortal Kombat Virtual Boy. The blood will be red. Yeah.
Yes.
The weirdest thing is about though is when you want to switch games, you do the ZLZR, and then you're given a screen that says you're now leaving Virtual Boy mode. Take it out of the stand and push OK. So you have to take it out, and the buttons on the D-pad don't do anything. You actually have to use a touchscreen to pick OK, and
Okay.
then you'll get back to the game select screens, which then you can put it back in. So that's kind of clunky and convoluted.
That is weird. Wonder why they chose to do that.
Okay. Well, again, I was doing the Japanese versions at the time, so I couldn't read all the menus. Maybe there is a nicer way to do it. No, once I can read the options, but that's just what
Okay.
I saw.
Gotcha. Got it. All right. The
Nintendo says that process seems very Nintendo.
yes, it does. All right. That is it for the Nintendo news and news in general. So we'll get into the releases and updates. Of course, we talked about the Virtual Boy Nintendo Classics out now, along with the Shadow Drop for Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. And don't forget the physical version of that will be out April 16th. Coming soon, next week, we'll have Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition for Switch 2, February 24th. The Disney Afternoon Collection finally coming to Switch and Switch 2, February 26th. Resident Evil Generation Pack, which is the Resident Evil 7 and 8, as well as Requiem, coming February 27th. Scott Pilgrim EX, March 3rd. Poker Night at the Inventory, March 5th. We're both excited for, right, Jesse?
Oh yeah, I probably put 100 hours of it back on this back when it first launched in 2011 on Steam,
Yeah.
and then I put even more time in on Poker Night 2, where I didn't do it in the first game because I didn't have the recording technology at the time. But
Mhm.
Poker Night 2, I was able to record a lot of the jokes, and I have
You have it somewhere still?
I have a bunch of clips on my YouTube channel.
Nice. I'll have to go check that out. Yeah, I wonder. I wonder if this is just going to be straight up poker night at the inventory, first.
Yeah, I don't think
Not like a.
I don't think they're going to change anything. I think
Okay.
because from based on what I saw on the key art, the
Yeah.
cast is the same as the cast, from in
Okay.
2011. Yeah,
All
Poker
right.
Night 2 does change the cast around, but this is the original cast.
Okay. It'll be fun. Is there any other news out on that yet? Or is it was just announced? Like, do we know if it's all can we play it online? All that kind of stuff? Do you know?
It's solely a single player game. Yeah, even the
Only a single
original
player?
version didn't have online.
Oh, I thought it did.
I don't think it did.
Well, no? Okay. Well, it'll still be fun. I just remember having a good time with it. So maybe I'm just thinking of something else too. All right. Out even later, Super Mario Brothers Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Meetup in Bella Bell Park, March 26th. Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection on the Switch for March 27th. Tamagotchi Life Living the Dream will be Switch April 16th. High on Life High on Life 2 Switch on the Switch 2 April 20th. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle Switch 2 May 12th. I'm looking forward to that. Coffee Talk Tokyo Switch May 21st. Bubsy 4D Switch and Switch 2 May 22nd. 007 First Light for the Switch 2 May 27th. The Adventures of Elliot, The Millennium Tales June 18th. And of course
also Switch 2 only, I think.
Okay. And also other games that we haven't gotten a date yet for South of Midnight and Mina the Hollower for spring 2026. One other game that wasn't here is also that other Pokemon game that's coming.
Pokopia?
Yeah, we do not have that on our list.
I'm checking that right now.
So that's coming actually in March as well, right? At the very beginning of March.
March 5th.
Okay. So we have that as well on coming pretty quickly here in the next few weeks. But before we get that release, we also have the Pokemon Presents that's coming at the end of February here. So we'll find out probably more Pokemon games coming out after that goes. Especially some of us who have predictions on that kind of stuff. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel for a lot of the first looks on these games that have dropped. Like I said, we got the Xenoblade one that I pushed out today, so go check that out. And for any of the other games we got going on, like Jesse's also Virtual Boy unboxing. So go check out our YouTube channel for that. All right, enough of that. Let's discuss about a topic that's been hanging around. Jesse, so I had this topic in here, and I think I brought it up slightly before on our main channel and I think in our Discord as well. But I've been learning that, and I brought this up with my friends at work too. Is like I've been learning that when I was younger, I wish I had more money to be able to buy all these systems to be able to play all the games I wanted. And I had probably a little bit more time at that time. Now I'm older, I have a little bit more spending money, but I don't have as much time for various reasons that I don't get to play
That's how they get you.
as much. But I have, like, in this generation, I've been blessed with being able to buy multiple systems. But in the new generation that's coming, we're eventually getting to here, I'm probably not going to buy a PlayStation 6 or an Xbox or anything like that, because the way the current market's going, and my time, it's not only just my time, but how much everything's costing as well is not as easy to just jump in and say, yeah, I can buy this system and maybe play, 1 or 2 games a year from it. Do you think you're going down that same path where you are going to be buying multiple systems or
Y-
participating in multiple systems?
Well, before I answer that, get a little history. Longtime listeners will know this, but just to catch everyone up, I've always had a Nintendo system in my house from day one. Well, not day one, but say 1988 is when I first got my NES, and then since then I've always had some form of Nintendo system in the house. Early
Yeah.
2000s, I got PlayStation 2 in addition to GameCube, so that was my introduction to being a two console household. And I've always been a two console household up until 2020. So I had PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. In 2020, I got the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. So for the first time, I've had all the big consoles at once.
Yeah.
And I found I play them very little.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like I played a lot of virtual poker on the PlayStation. That's probably my most played game. Other than that,
Mhm.
it's got very little use. Yeah, I fired it up a few weeks ago and played the first few chapters of Dispatch, and I do plan on going back finishing that eventually. But other
Yeah.
than that, like I haven't played my Xbox in over a year. So
Yep.
for the basically for the first time, well, see, PS3 we didn't need PSN to play online. But we
Right.
did for the PS4. Actually, I did start up a subscription during the PS3 era because they gave us free games. That's when they
Yeah.
started that process. So I've had PS PSN subscription from then up until this last holiday, where I canceled it, and I had Xbox subscription when I got it in 2020, and I
Mhm.
dropped it during this holiday. So right now, the only subscription I have is Nintendo's, and at this time, I'm not looking into picking up any subsequent systems from Sony or Microsoft unless they have one hell of a killer app.
Yeah.
Which
I get it. Yeah.
the history of that is non-existent in the last 6 or 7 years.
Right.
Spider-Man is probably the closest thing Sony's had to me.
Mhm.
But even then, I didn't even finish that. I got stuck on a near end game boss fight, I think.
Yeah.
And I tried Miles Morales, and I couldn't even beat the tutorial.
Yeah, for me, I'm a sucker for mobile stuff, mobile tech. So, reason why I say that is because of the rumors for PlayStation 6 potentially having a portable version of it. Um, or PlayStation 6 being portable, period, and doing a
Just
similar
doing the
thing to what
Switch model.
Nintendo does. Yeah. So there's a lot of rumors around that. So I put that out there just because I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. But right now is the way what I've learned, what I'm doing with this gaming stuff. I have a PlayStation Portal. I have a PlayStation 5. I have an Xbox. A lot of the stuff you can do mobile wise as well. Xbox has now the Legion Go. I think
Yeah.
not Legion Go.
Well,
Is it Legion Go?
I don't
So there's
know.
a they
Oh,
have an Xbox.
kind of like the ROG
Oh, the
Ally.
Rogue, the ROG. Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
that's right.
and
The Asus ROG Ally. There's a
like
Xbox version of that.
I didn't buy the Portal for PlayStation, but with Xbox, I was able to pair an Xbox controller to my iPad and use it as a remote screen.
Okay. Yeah,
So kind of a convoluted way of doing it, but
kind of a way of doing it. Yeah.
it worked. Like
Yep.
I wouldn't play anything 60 frames twitchy game,
Right.
but playing Persona 3 was not an
Mhm.
issue.
Nice.
Turn-based
Yeah, I did a
combat. You
lot of.
don't need twitchy.
I tried various controllers where you can put your phone in it and type of thing with the Xbox or the PlayStation or one that did both at the time. So I was playing around with the mobile concept of that, being able to use your phone to remote play into your PlayStation already before the Portal. I was doing the whole, Game Pass online for Xbox that way. So I played around with that kind of stuff, but it was like just seemed not as easy as to jump in with the Nintendo Switch. Steam Deck is probably the closest you can get to that, and I've been really close to buying one of those too because I have been playing more games on Steam. But right now, the way it's been going, I spend most of my time on the Nintendo Switch. And now, granted, when the Switch started, getting older, and there wasn't much happening with like third parties there as well, and I had to play third parties elsewhere. Yeah, I was playing it either on PC or on my PlayStation. But now we got the Switch
Yeah,
2
because
out.
especially GameCube's Wii U era wasn't great with third parties,
Correct. Yeah. Now with Switch 2,
which is why
there's
having the
more third
PlayStation
parties
made
coming
sense at
there.
the time.
Right. And that's always been the case. PlayStation was my second one to be able to play those third parties I could play on Nintendo. And there's still going to be some third parties that just won't come to Nintendo's console.
And then when games like that are coming out to Switch now, say Cyberpunk last year, I didn't buy it because if I wanted to play that game, I would have already. But, Justin, who didn't have a PlayStation, took that opportunity to get the Switch 2 version and loved it.
I think he started it on Stadia.
Oh, that's right. So
he started it there.
So he knew he liked the game from that.
Yeah.
But
so he was excited about getting
but Stadia did a
it
Stadia
on the Switch. Yep.
And
gave us Stadia.
Gave us our money back.
Oh, in fact, I have that right out here too.
I have my Stadia controller somewhere in a box.
Oh, you remember this?
Oh.
I have the stickers for that. The Merryweather, cartoon.
I didn't know he did art of.
He did one for Stadia.
Oh yeah, that's from his Video Game Girls comic.
Yeah,
right?
and then he had the Switch.
That's
they would hang out.
That's Switch John. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's an RAP for that. So
yeah,
2019 to 2023.
He hasn't. Yeah. He hasn't done any of those lately, but it's funny having, like, PS5 Chan is just this really tall, gorgeous woman with large assets talking to Switch Chan, which is like looks like a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah, as a little kid.
And she's like, your games are too expensive.
Yeah. I loved reading those comics. Those were fun. But yeah, anyways, it's going back to the whole thing, I'm learning more about my time and then the money again. They're already predicting the PlayStation 6 is going to be really expensive, even if and if it's portable, it's probably going to be even more expensive.
Oh yeah. And subsequently less powerful because they've been in a power battle between the two, PlayStation and Xbox. That if they decide to do portable, they're going to have to pull that back a bit,
right?
Unless you want to have $1,000 console with.
Unless they do something fancy, like we all thought Nintendo was going to do, right? Where it's just going to be like remotely plays to a box or something that ups everything, I don't know. And there's no more
Xbox
physical
Wii U.
media. Yeah. Yeah. So, but it'd be interesting to hear from the community too, what you're kind of feeling about video games going forward. Are you going to be able to spend as much as you thought or had in the past? Or maybe you were hoping to be able to. Maybe you're the type of person who is in my boat where I wanted to be able to try all the different systems and be able to play the different games, but then you're not going to be able to because of the cost. Just where are you, our listeners, in the whole secondary system market and what your plans are for the next generation? So I'd love to hear those comments there, and we'll try to read them in our next community Q&A session as well. All right, let's jump to the rumors, Jesse. All right, we had a couple cool rumors. Not cool rumors. Why did I say cool? They're not cool.
One might be.
One might be. So one rumor is going around. Switch 2 price is going to increase. I know we've mentioned that before, and I think we have it in, some of us have it in our predictions that the price will increase.
Yeah, I predicted specifically what I think the prices are going to be. So if they go up, but I missed the mark, I still get half point.
Needs to get that half point. You gotta defend your title, hanging up there on that wall behind you.
Yeah, though I don't think OBS is picking it up on the two-face view, but it's
okay, yeah.
It's they can see
it's over there.
They can see the left edge.
So Bloomberg claims that Nintendo is considering a price increase for the Switch 2 this year. They suggest the rise is due to increasing memory and component cost alongside potential chip shortages, making a 2026 price adjustment likely. So not just about the tariffs.
Oh yeah, no.
But it's
my prediction was completely based on what I'm seeing component prices going. Yeah.
That's crazy. It's interesting too, because I mean shortages came up with the PlayStation and a little bit of the Switch, but it was, the chip shortage.
But that was
processor.
That was COVID related because the miners couldn't mine whatever element that they do as fast as they could because they had to limit their staffing.
And then also people couldn't go to the factories and build, right?
Or stop mining altogether, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it's good. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. And I don't know if that's also going to make people want to buy Switch 2 because they don't want to pay the extra money.
Well,
do you think there'll be an increase in purchases?
Well, that's my pitch is if you're on the fence, buy it now. Because a year from now, it'll likely be more expensive.
How much more do you think it could get?
Well, my prediction that I said last month was I think they're going to discontinue the bundles and move the base price up to the $500 mark. So a $50 increase.
Okay.
And that's probably
$500.
That's probably the lowest increase that they would do.
Okay.
They could definitely go higher.
Yeah.
But I don't see them only doing a $20 increase. It'll if they do any at all, it'll be at least to $500.
So the price right now without a game, isn't that $400?
$450.
Is $450 without a game?
Correct.
I thought it was $450 with the game.
No, it's $500 with the bundle was $500.
Okay. So it's $500 with the game.
Which made it a $50 game, but that game was an $80 game outside the bundle, so most people bought it via the bundle.
Yeah. You don't think, maybe not the first year, but you don't think they'll try to sweeten the deal with the game? Maybe just to try to eat some of that cost or something? I know Nintendo doesn't usually eat cost of anything, but
yeah, well,
I mean, Mario Kart would have been out for a couple of years by this point, right? So, or by that point, if they do raise it, or a year. No, it'll only be a year.
It'll be a year this June.
Yeah. So, but at least by the holidays, maybe there'll be a bundle.
Yeah, well, the holidays they might have a bundle back at the $500 price point, but I don't think that'll be the normal price.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how Nintendo does their magic with the numbers on this one.
Yeah. Well, I'm still a little upset about how they count game sales. We talked about that a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, like people who bought the Pokemon to the Pokemon bundle with the Switch 2 system
Mm-hmm.
counted as a
The
Switch
Legends
2
one.
console sale, but counted as a Switch 1 game sale.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me why they did that. Although, well, no, I take that back because it is ultimately just a Switch game.
Right. I understand it, why they did it too. It's just
Yeah,
I wish they would also follow it up with at least we sold this many upgrades.
that's true. Yeah, that would be nice.
So,
That would be a nice
like,
detail.
right, I think for the Pokemon ZA, they sold 3 million Switch 2 versions, 8 million Switch 1 versions. But if it was 4 million upgrades, then the numbers are really 7 million and 3 million and 4 million
Yeah,
or whatever, or something like that.
right. Yeah, it's very interesting how they were spinning that. I mean, I'm sure there's got to be a business reason why they did it that way.
Because in the eShop, they're pulled from the same SKU, I'm sure.
Mhm.
It's just buying the Switch 2 version is a bundle of the Switch 1 version and the upgrade pack.
Right. Yeah.
Well, there
Yeah,
really
it's
isn't a Switch 2 version.
right. Because I mean, you can put the any of those type of games that have Switch ones on the cart. You can put those Switch one, even though they're red Switch 2 carts. You can
Right.
put them in a
They're
Switch
playable
one.
in a Switch 1.
Yeah, which I always thought was cool. So, all right. And again, it's still kind of interesting to see what Nintendo's doing with this stuff. The next rumor is Duskbloods, that From Software Souls game exclusive for the Nintendo Switch 2. There was a release date leaked for it. Duskbloods listing appears on the Australian eShop and a Finnish retailer,
Finish.
stating a release date, a Finnish, yes, stating a release date of March 27th, while advertisements began appearing online.
That seems awfully soon for not announcing the game yet.
Right? The retailer listing later updated to a placeholder. The sudden appearance of these listings has increased speculation regarding an imminent official announcement.
So if there is a direct this coming week or the early March, this will likely be in it.
Yes. It'd be interesting if both of this exclusive game and Elden Ring drop in the same direct. Like maybe there's a shadow drop of Elden
That
Ring and then announcement of March 27th, Duskbloods.
I don't think Elden Ring will shadow drop unless they plan on doing a physical release in a future date.
Which we've seen people do.
Which Nintendo's done it with
Yeah.
Metroid Prime. But
And Xenoblade.
right. But it would make sense for them to, just like they had Todd Howard show up and talk about 3 games, bang, bang, bang. It would make sense for them to have someone come out and talk about their 2 games, bang, bang.
Okay. Do you think that's a end of direct type thing, or do you think they begin the direct with that?
Either place I think would be a good place for it. Leaning toward probably the start of that bookend.
Okay.
Like they better not do that in the middle. It should be either on either end of it.
Okay. What if because they don't do this and they throw everybody off, they start with Elden Ring and they end with Dustblood. They sandwich it with the From
I
Software
was thinking
sandwich.
the other way around. I think they
Or
would
the
end
other way
it
around? Okay.
with the shadow drop.
Okay. Nice. I would take that.
You think there's a Nintendo Direct on March 10? I'm thinking there'll be a Mario Direct. Not necessary. It won't be what you want it to be. It'll just be only Mario. And it'll be
Or
15 minutes.
maybe there'll be a I mean we have the Pokemon Presents, right? Coming the 27th. Do you think they'll do a Poketopia direct to focus on the game itself the following week?
I don't think it'll get its own direct. It'll get a mention, like a 2-minute mention at most in the Pokemon Presents. But again, Pokemon Presents is more than just Pokemon games. They talk about physical stuff. They talk about
Yeah,
Netflix
that's true.
shows. They talk about the mobile apps that no one cares about. There's normally only 2 or 3 things that I normally care about out of these things. But they'll also definitely talk about Gen 10. There's
Okay.
no way they
Yeah,
don't talk about Gen 10.
they've got to. That, yeah, that's probably why they held on to it for a little bit longer, right? So,
So quick side note, since someone mentioned Mario Day, uh, I was at a dinner with uh, acquaintances, let's say, last night, and we were all talking, bantering back and forth, getting to know each other a little bit. Someone mentioned that you know engineers and math people like to celebrate Pi Day, March 14th, throughout 3.14. Uh, and then I mentioned, oh yeah, that's 4 days after Mario Day, and they all gave me a look like, how do they determine March 10th to be Mario Day? And I'm like, well, they spell it out. MAR10 spells Mario. And they're like, palm slap.
yes, you got to see it to understand it for sure.
And then the conversation went to explaining what an ID 10T error is, which is
Okay.
similar type of concept. Once you spell it out, you see it.
Yeah.
So I'll leave that for a homework assignment for the listeners. I won't explain it further.
Or somebody, I'm sure, will mention something in the chat. All right. Well, that's it for the rumors. Let's do a serious timeout. So, Jesse, I talked to you about this in the pre-show, and I want to make sure it was all right because
Yeah.
we usually talk about some serious stuff during this time in the timeout, or just some general, topics other than gaming. But I brought this up because of we sometimes bring up situations in each of our dad's lives that may help the community in some way, shape, or form. Like, Marty will talk about his challenges with some of the things he's got going on, either with his kids or with his, you know, job or whatever. And Justin will, or I will with my kids or my family or my experiences with dementia, my mom. I don't know if I've talked much about that yet, but, you know, it's more and more stuff I'll probably be talking about. But for you, I asked, would it be okay if you mention what's life been like now that you are a divorced dad?
Yeah. So, yeah, I haven't openly out and said it until today. I've definitely dropped hints. Some of you have pieced things together. Uh, kind of things that have started about a year ago when she decided to move into the guest room. So I'm like, okay, something's not right. So we talked. We tried to figure out what we can do to fix things. I thought it was fixable, but in her head, it couldn't have already was. She was already checked out, and really nothing I would have done would have changed anything at that point. um, she did say she appreciated the effort, but just wished she saw that effort earlier when I
Yeah.
didn't realize there was a problem. So cool. Anyway, so then people who've been around, around this time last year, I was sometimes I maintained off-camera presence. I would still be here to produce and record, and maybe throw in a joke in chat. But I wasn't mentally in a good place. Trying to figure out everything trying to figure out how to fix what couldn't be fixed. And a few people kind of again figured that out, reached out to me, "Are you okay?" And at the time I'm like, "Thanks for asking. I'm not. I appreciate it, but all I can do is just figure this out." Then she filed for divorce in May. Uh, had a lawyer drop papers, so where I've kind of saw the writing on the wall leading up to it, and was in a contact with a few lawyers to kind of just get what can I do? What are my options? Type of thing. So
Yeah.
with now that I have papers, I pick one, hire a lawyer. So at that point, pretty much it's our lawyers doing the talking and ironing things out. And if they need anything from us, then they said, okay, like her lawyer goes to my lawyer, says, ask him this, and then back and forth that way. So we're not supposed to talk about it directly. We're supposed to go through the lawyers. So they're in the loop with everything. And I was hoping to get things resolved before the end of the year. There was a last thing. I'm not going to give out details, but basically, her lawyer wrote up an offer, which included maintenance that there was no way I could afford. I after I pay my bills, I have like $1,000 for the month for my own, including groceries, entertainment, whatever. Which what they wanted in maintenance was more than the 1,000.
Right.
So I kind of countered with can we counter with a lump sum out of my retirement? And my lawyer says, yeah, we can ask. And I just found this was back in late November, early December, and I don't know what took so long, but we finally heard back from her counsel saying that they agree to that, and we'll write up a new set of papers with what those numbers will look like, and if everything looks the way it will look, then we'll sign off on it, and then hopefully the divorce will finally be over, and I just to the point where I don't have to pay her another dime for the rest of my life. That's the maintenance thing. If it really would have killed me.
Yeah.
But bought a house in August, had some repairs done on it, and moved into this house in October. So I've been now living in this house for about 4 months now. So third a year already.
Yeah. And you had to go through the holidays too, obviously a little bit different after that.
First set of holidays with just being by myself. The kids, all of which, well, I should say, my kids have been through a divorce before, albeit they were 3 or 4 or 5 at the time, but they've been through this before. So think my oldest was a little upset. My son, he nothing really changes in his life. He's still doing what he's doing. But her daughter took it the hardest and wouldn't talk to her mom for months. They're fine now. Okay. But because she was worried that it was going to affect how I feel about her. I'm like, no, you're still my daughter. She still wants me to walk her down the aisle because she's met her bio dad, thinks he's an ass. I'm not going to ask questions. That's fine. I haven't met him. I don't want to meet him.
Yeah.
But I started dating her mom when she was 5 or 6 years old. So I am dad for most of her life. She's 24 now.
Yeah.
So the Saturday after Thanksgiving and the Saturday after Christmas, all 3 kids came over to my house. We did our celebration, and then everyone went home. Though
Yeah.
my oldest says she lives down in Joplin, about 3 hours away. She stayed the night, 1 or 2 nights each time, so she wouldn't have to drive that much in a day.
Right.
But which is fine. We just basically, I don't have an extra room. With all the bedrooms, I have something in it, but the master bedroom is huge. So she just pretty much set up her kennels for her dogs in one corner. She set up an inflatable mattress in the other corner, and my bed is in the middle. And there was plenty of room for all that to
Yeah.
make it work. Yeah. So yeah, overall, I'm still not perfect. There's still a lot of things I'm going through, but
Yeah.
I'm a lot better than I was a year ago.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
On the
I'm still
road to healing and all that kind of stuff, for
yeah,
sure.
I'm still getting used to the new norm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've never lived by myself before. Even after the first divorce, I had the kids.
Yeah.
I moved in with who would eventually be my first wife right out of my mom's house.
Okay.
So yeah, I've never been on my own before, completely alone
Yeah.
until now, and that's what I was worried about.
Right.
But I'm making it work.
Yeah. So obviously that throws a wrench into, what your routine was before. So what kind of new routines have you discovered now or that you're building?
Yeah. Well, I found out I have a lot more time to game now. Yeah, like I put almost like 65 hours into Dragon Quest VII since it launched, and I started, and I didn't get it until Saturday after the launch date, so it's been less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't have to worry. Unless I have something I have to do on the weekends, I just normally don't have to do much. I don't, I spend most of my time in this room or in the living room. Don't spend a lot of time in the kitchen. Don't spend a lot of time in the bedroom. So
Yeah.
they don't have to get cleaned as often if you don't do anything with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've been, I think, gone to a few poker tournaments too.
Oh yeah. In fact, that was one of the things that kept me sane early on in the process. Is like I would go to more poker games than normal, just as an excuse to not be in the house.
Yeah.
And she would be out of town more weekends than normal, from her point of view, to not be in the house,
Yeah.
to try to kind of avoid each other.
Right.
And she
Yeah.
visited her mom an unusual number of times early last year, which I
Yeah.
found was weird. I knew there was like two uh, surgeries planned that she was going to go down to help her mom for, but she was like going. But between January and May, I think she was down there 4 times.
Okay.
Again, just to not be in the house.
Yeah. Yeah. It's there's some things you definitely pick up on. So I didn't have kids at the time I went through my divorce with my first wife either. So um but nonetheless it's still a divorce. So it's always tough. It's always life changing. Lots of crazy stuff that you have to adjust to. So yeah, I just remember there were certain things that were happening. I was just like, that's interesting, or is this what life is like, or whatever, when things start changing. But yeah, it's like then you realize, oh, this is why that happened. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
get it. All right. Well, thanks for sharing that. In fact, a couple people have mentioned something, and Friendo says, sorry to hear that, Jesse. And then Darth Platypus says, sorry that you had to go through it, but thank you for being willing to share. I'll keep you in my prayers.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
So thanks for sharing that, Jesse. And if there's any dads out there who have gone through a divorce or who are going through one, or who knows, if you need to talk about it or want to come talk about it, we have our Discord community. We have what's been called our therapy sessions every third Friday of the month when we do our dinner table. So, in fact, we have that coming up tomorrow night. So,
Yeah,
lots
and
of different
one of the
opportunities.
rooms is called adulting and parenting, so
Yes,
that's the place where you can talk about this, and people
among other
will
things.
and people will have an understanding ear.
Yes, lots of different ways to vent and talk to other dads who may be going through other similar things or who have experienced somebody else going through that. So, all right, thanks, Jesse. So let's go to our what we've been playing.
I think I need to get a new headset. Things are not coming out of my right ear, and it's starting to bother me.
Time to upgrade. All right.
I think they've had this 3 years
You've
now.
had that for a while, yeah.
Yeah, this was actually a headset that I got a review unit for, and I talked about it at the review level, and at the time it was great. I loved it, and
Yeah.
so things aren't working right anymore.
Starting to show its age. Yeah, I understand.
As things do.
As things do.
That's what my back says too.
All right, Jesse. So we talked a little bit earlier about Virtual Boy. You've played a little bit of those games. You want to start off by what you've been playing with that?
Yeah. So far, I've only really played the WarioWare, uh, Wario Land. I mean, not WarioWare. That's a different franchise.
Yes.
But I think I played the first 2 levels. I think each level has like a 20-minute countdown timer, which is a lot of time. 'Cause I think I went through and kind of thoroughly explored the first area, getting everything I can get, and I still finished it in like 6 minutes, 7 minutes. So
Okay.
yeah, if you take 20 minutes, you're really taking your time. Yeah. Like I don't know if it was after the first level or after the second level that you kind of got a bonus stage set, kind of going up a lift into these where there's 2 other rooms. One where you get bonus coins, and the other where you spend the coins where you can get bonus hearts. I don't know what the hearts are for.
Okay.
And then it went back into the lift up to the second level. And I don't remember if I finished that stage or if that's where I stopped. But it did. At one point, it showed me like a Castlevania. You saw a big wide map of area. You
Yeah.
start here, Dracula's up here. Kind of looked like a pyramid type of thing where you start on the bottom and then you have to work your way up. I think the top floor was like the 14th or 15th floor. So there's that many levels in the game, I guess. But I haven't gone back to it since I played the first level or 2. I do want to get back to it. It's just going to be a slow roll because it's a Virtual Boy game.
Yeah. Ms. actually says Wario Land, only game worth playing. Glad I spent $100.
Yeah, because they only sold what, like 600,000, 700,000 units in North America.
Yeah.
The games are pretty damned rare.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Yes.
not. I don't think it's a game that I own, but I own again like 8, 10, or 12 games. They're still in boxes from when I moved. I haven't fully unpacked things yet.
Yeah. Nice. Well, what else have you been playing?
Okay, so I've been playing more of Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. I was in the final boss area and realized I missed an area. It was a pretty small, insignificant area, but it does get me uh, a silver tablet piece for doing it, which
Okay.
is needed for post game stuff. But so wasn't a big deal. I was just I beat the boss, did the world tour of having everyone tell me how great I am. Then made it back to my hometown, had a big party, and then rolled credits. And then the game continues right away after that with basically you're able to go back and beat the big boss again at that point, but now it unlocks additional, post-game content. So I was able to get the last silver fragment, but I haven't put it into the silver altar yet. But what I did first was went into this new battle arena where I think there are 4 stages. If I beat the first, you get a prize with finishing it, but then you get another prize if you win in 50 turns, 40 turns, and 30 turns. So you can get up to 3 additional things. Yeah, I beat it in 113 turns.
Wow.
And, well, I would say 113 actions. So, like, a turn is basically 4 turns because I have 4 people in my party. So each one's taking an action per turn. So that counts as 4 actions. So I don't think I'll ever get to the point, well, unless I'm grinding to them all to 99s, which I probably won't do. So the next thing I'm going to hit is that silver tablet, which I am 3 pieces. Once I get 3 more gold tablet pieces, then I can go into the gold tablet. So it's basically 2 post-game areas.
Okay.
Through the silver and the gold. The game I would say this is probably the easiest Dragon Quest game of all the Dragon Quest games. So if you like the old school difficulty, you may not dig this, but you can still turn up the difficulty. As there are sliders you can bump up, more or less gold per win, more or less XP per win, more or less job points per win. You hit harder or softer, the enemies hit harder or softer. So each of those can be independently adjusted. I've just played on all defaults, and it was fine. I'm okay with an easy game. I don't like it when the game kicks my butt. It's definitely the last boss fight I did almost lose.
Yeah.
So I had 5 people in my party, but I could only bring 4 out at a time. And so the person that was on the back end just happened to know Kazing, which is a spell that 100% chance of reviving a fallen ally, as opposed to Zing, which is only a 50% chance. And that's really frustrating when Zing fails 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
But at least Kazing is a guaranteed raise.
Yeah.
So I think the final boss had 4 phases to it. In the final phase, it was starting to curse my party, cutting the maximum hit points in half. And then it did an all-out magical burst attack, which drains all of his remaining MP, and the more MP he has, the more damage he does. But with all the curses in place, he took out all 4 people. So that one person that was on the bench swapped in and just started kazing, 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 and eventually had everyone raised again. And I was able to defeat him. But that was a really close fight.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. See something
you didn't happen to capture that or record that, did you?
No, I was on the big TV.
No? Oh, okay.
Yeah. One of the characters that I met is Sir Lies-a-Lot, Lys, but
Sir Lies-a-Lot.
But yeah, he is a fibber. He's trying to convince the people in his town that he was part of the heroes' party. And
love the name. That's funny.
There was something else that I said I didn't kind of like my only downside, but now I can't remember what that was. Having the 2 jobs at once is kind of a nice boost. It does, again, it's another way to make the game easier. Okay, that's what it was. Again, for the Dragon Quest purists, they don't like this part of the game. Like the original Dragon Quest games on the Famicom era, there was no bottomless inventory bag. Every character had their own inventory that had to include their equipment and any held items that they needed. And if they wanted to use any healing herbs or potions to increase your MP, you had to have them on your person, and then they could be used. Or any items that had if you use it as an item instead of a weapon, then it would basically proc a spell. Different items would cast different spells. So if you had to have them in your inventory, then you could use them in battle. Later games introduced the bottomless item bag system. So when you're not in battle, you have full access to what's in your item bag. But in battle, you didn't have access to that. So if you still wanted to have items that proc a spell, herbs, diamonds for protecting against wax and thwax, you had to have them on as part of each individual character's inventory. So when I played through 1, 2, 3, and 11 earlier this year, I would make sure every character had at least 2 or 3 diamonds on them. Otherwise, if I attack a mimic, they could wipe a party if I didn't have them equipped. You know. This game, there is no more per character inventory. So the bottomless item bag is available to everyone in battle.
Okay.
Which, sounds nice on paper, but it effectively really makes it, easy. Because you normally get, say, the item Sage's Stone is a popular item, which, when used in combat, casts multi-heal. So everyone gains 100 to 150 hit points.
Okay.
In the past, you had to give it to someone, and so only that person could use it when it's their turn.
Okay.
But since it's in your infinite item bag and everyone has access to it, everyone can use it. In fact, I've seen it used 3 times in the same turn before. Yeah. So 7 will use it. Maribel will use it. Mervyn will use it. Just to heal everyone up.
Yeah.
So, again, I wasn't necessarily upset about it. I just found it weird. But, again, a lot of the older players who like the difficulty don't like that aspect of the game. And that's not something you can turn off.
Okay.
But the other difficulty sliders I mentioned, that's the way the game works.
Gotcha.
So again, for a beginner, it's a great game. Again, it's the easiest game, but again, remember, other games are going to be more difficult. So don't be surprised when the next game you play is a lot harder. I think 1, 2, and 3, I think, was very well balanced. It had its difficult points, and you actually had to learn the fight and learn their patterns and cast the right spells at the right time to block and defend and whatnot. Again, 11 was also relatively easy. I pretty much played the entire game 11 and 7 with the characters auto fighting. I didn't tell it to do a single move in a fight, whereas 1, 2, and 3, I would auto fight the trash, but when it came to a boss, I really had to nitpick my moves, or else I wasn't going to win. So that's kind of like the optimal difficulty. Is you've got to be able to. You have to make some decisions. You can't just auto fight the whole game. But again, with 7, you can auto fight the whole game. I proved it. Even the final boss, it was all auto battle.
Was it? Okay.
But again, games like that, I play for the story, not the difficulty, and it's got a great story. It's got many great stories. There's one overarching story, but a lot of little ones.
Okay.
We could
Well, obviously,
pretty much-
because you've played this game several times.
yeah, this is my third run through. I played the 3DS version twice, and then
Okay.
first time on the Switch.
Nice.
Yeah, and then so I just have the post game stuff, and then I'll be done, and then I'll move on to my next game. I'll probably go back to Escape after that. And then
Okay.
the last game I wanted to talk about, Tokyo Scramble. Not a game I own, but it's a game playable through GameShare. So
Nice.
this
Who shared it with you, Jesse?
funny you should ask. So I think it was Saturday. It was sometime this weekend. I'm on the couch playing Dragon Quest. No, it was Monday because it was a federal holiday, so I was able to play it.
Okay.
All of a sudden, Roger sends me a game chat request. I'm like, oh, hi, sure, I'll answer. So I answer, and he invited myself and Will. So we kind of had a mini VG Tribune reunion through game
nice.
chat because he was the owner of the site.
Okay.
And then Roger and I were co-editor in chiefs for a bit.
Right.
Yeah. So so once the three of us all got on the call, he explained what he wanted to do and asked if we were okay with it. And I said, yeah, sure. So he said he had a sponsored slot to make a 60-second video of playing Tokyo Scramble, explaining and demonstrating the game share features.
Okay.
So he thought it was going to be like a multiplayer game where each of us are running around the map together. That's not what this is. This is more of like I don't remember the name of the game, but where like you're in a starship and each person does a different aspect of
Yeah.
Or like Overcooked, Overcooked is multiple people running around doing more jobs than people, but basically you are given a task and you can only do that task. So in this case, you can move the character around, you can move the camera around, you can perform actions like ducking and sprinting.
Okay.
Or you can control the phone apps or the watch apps.
Okay.
So I was the watch app person, which means Roger or Will couldn't do anything if they wanted to. If they hit the button, it didn't do anything because I had the control of that.
Okay.
Will had the sprints and the ducks and the crouches, and Roger did both the movement and the camera movement, which we all agreed that made sense for the same person to do both. But if there was four of us, he would have wanted to then relinquish one of those to that fourth person, and that would have been more of a challenge.
Okay.
Okay. Roger can at any time switch to you go to the game share settings and switch who controls what. He can say, "Screw y'all, I'm taking full control," and which would basically relegate us to having a cursor on the screen, moving it around, pointing things out, like we're all our own little Navis.
Okay.
When someone made that reference, I actually yelled, "Hey, listen!" So like we started the game with Roger controlling everything, and then we had an idea of what we're doing because he hasn't played this game either, so this was new to him. So we kind of did the first stage that way. Then we split it, got our roles. We did the first stage again. Now that we kind of knew what the game expected of us.
Yeah.
Then we did the second chapter, completely blind in our roles. I think we did. I think we did 3 chapters total.
Okay.
So I don't know how many chapters are in the game, but it was fun. This is basically in general, you're a girl who gets trapped into the Tokyo subway system after like an earthquake or something, sinkholes happened and everything crashes down, and you're trying to work your way out.
Mhm.
You do have some communications with your friends through your watch, through a chat app, which you see like between chapters, they have little conversations. And the creatures you meet, she basically names them on this herself, so she's got a point of reference, and that's what they call them. So like the thing that looked like a raptor dinosaur, she
Mhm.
called a goblin. And then the second type, which kind of has like large fish, like not fish, but like
Oh, the
very large,
fins.
yeah, fins that work like noise amplifiers. So
Mhm.
his thing is he'll wander around. Every once in a while, he'll stop, send out a shriek with his fins out, and kind of like picking up like radar, like a bat would.
Oh, sonar thing. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So she called them a lurker. So there are each stage has optional quests. You don't have to do them, but if you do them, you get a better score. Like one of them was to like you saw an elevator car just barely hanging on. If you when you get close enough, you have the ability with through the phone app to drop it. If you drop it onto a goblin, then you get the check mark.
Okay.
And one of them was make a goblin. Uh, what was it called? A, basically, you needed to trap a goblin onto an escalator.
Okay.
And what we were able to do that. so
Okay.
so the yeah so then it was fun for something to do with a group of people. Probably would have been easier if all of us were in the same room.
Okay.
I pres I presume that the similar type of multiplayer functions exist if in a couch co-op format. Not 100% sure on that. It might be game share only because
Okay.
the option to pick your roles is called game share. Uh, but so we played that for like an hour and a half total, and then went back to what we were doing. But it was I liked it just because I was playing with people I knew. But again, this
Yeah.
isn't the game that I'd be playing by myself.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, I was kind of curious about Tokyo Scramble because of that aspect. And thanks for sharing how you guys learned how to play. So, because I
Yeah,
wasn't
it
100% sure what
it
that
was
was.
definitely a learning experience.
Yeah. Very cool. So Tokyo Scramble. Nice. All right. So I'll try to get through some of these. A lot of these I've played already, talked about already, but I'll just mention I'm still playing Dokapon Kingdom Connect with the Retro Logic guys. So we're continuing to play on there. I'm still losing. I'm still in fourth place on the board. Again, it's a board game type game, like a
Are you just
or
continuing the same large game
yeah,
every time you
same
get
large
together?
game where
It's like
it's
like a
a
game of
world.
Monopoly that can take 8 hours to play.
Yeah, it's like it's on a world map essentially where you're opening up different regions of the map. But you're going across the board to open up those things and you're helping save some villages. It's an RPG where you are ranking up your character. Um, like and you can get jobs to combine them and become another job. Like right now I started off as a warrior and I think if I go switch to a thief
Like,
and then fully
was it
full
Fantasy Life? Is that
maybe. Yeah, if you max out those jobs, then you can unlock another job like a ninja or something like
yeah.
that,
Dragon Quest
depending on
Seven's
if they
job
combine.
system is similar. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like you unlock. If you master priest and mage, then you can become a sage,
Okay.
and then in order to unlock the hero job, you have to have unlocked 3 of the middle jobs.
Yeah, Sam knows really a lot about the game, and I've been trying to pick up on some of it when I go to some of the wikis about it. But there's a lot of content in it as far as the RPG side goes, where you can there's a lot of different weapons you can find. There's little caves and casinos, and but again, you're playing this on a board game type setting, and you're basically trying to win with the most money in most villages and all that kind of stuff, most castles. Um, by the end of the game. And so you basically are trying to hurt the other player or take away their stuff. Uh, and one of the things that happens in the game is if you're last place, you get the opportunity to become I forget what it's called, but you become an evil character. Um,
Fun.
so you basically become a bad guy because you're in
You,
fourth place and
you turn heel.
you get offered a contract or something to say, hey, I can make your life better if you come join me and all that kind of stuff. And you become like this imp or something, or I forget the actual name of it, but I've gotten to do that twice now. But I made a mistake on my second go where I was getting a little cocky probably. And I was like, I went to go fight Dat Fast John's character and I picked the wrong move to attack him with, and he was able to counter it. And I guess when you strike with this move and someone counters it, the same amount of damage you could have inflicted, they can inflict back by countering it. And that
Oof.
was enough to kill me. So I died, and you got to start back over from the beginning castle. But he's also able to take an element from my character being this ultimate bad guy. Because when you become this ultimate bad guy, you have lots of power, powerful weapons. You can take over towns that the other players had by putting monsters back on them. You have a lot of power, and like you get like 15 turns to do all this damage with, So, and I should have been able to win that fight because I had all powerful weapons and all that kind of stuff, but I did that move and I lost. And now Dat Fast John basically has a crown that allows him to do
But he has one of
some
your super
powerful
items.
things. Yeah, that he wouldn't have got if he hadn't beat me. So, or
Oops.
unless, yeah. So yeah, now he's gonna most likely win the game now because he has this powerful item. And I was like, felt so stupid making that move. I knew this from before. You're not supposed to use this particular move, but I just picked it because I'm not that familiar with the game and just was like, oh, I'll pick this one. And he countered it. And yeah. So, but it's still a fun game, and you can do other silly things to each player, and like you can change their name. That's why I have loading on my screen name in Discord, is because my name is loading. But I added my, loading Tim A to it because it was starting to get confusing. But in the game, I'm still called loading until I forget how I can get that changed. But there's got to be something that happens for me to change it. Probably, I think I have to change my class in order to my job. I mean, to get my name back to normal. You can also change their hairdo, which I was able to give to Dat Fast John. I gave him like a monk hairdo at one point where he was
Is
bald.
that kind of like a hair ring
Yeah.
and bald on top?
Yes, the hair ring. Yep, exactly.
Like
Um,
an old fire talk type of look.
yes, and then or you can mark their face with something, and there's some actually ones that are actually pretty cool. Like I gave a mark to uh um was it Shannon? I think I gave him an X on his face, but actually
Like
looks kind of
kind of
cool.
like a
So
scar.
like a scar, yeah. So, but yeah, there's like I said, there's a lot of fun with it, and um we're still opening up, doing some funny things to it and having a good time talking. So it's a good game for you can play it online. That's what we've been doing. You can play it locally. Uh so again, Dokapon Connect is a good one to have there for multiplayer for up to 4 players. And it's a long play too. We've been playing it like once a week or once every other week when we can. I
Well,
continued I continue to Escape from Ever After. That's the game Roger recommended that we all try, and we're all loving it. I got probably as far as Marty did when last time he talked about it, which is doing the Three Little Pigs and the Wolf chapter. That's where I left off. I did a first look at Cakey's Twisted Bakery. So we have that video out there, which is a first-person scary game, essentially, kind of like your Five Nights at Freddy's type thing. But this one is where Cakey's Twisted Bakery is where you are a kid who you find out this bakery
I just looked
is
at the key art and I'm like, yeah.
you find out this bakery is making things out of kids. And so you
As
were
you
a
do.
kid that was trapped in this bakery and about to be cooked or made into one of the bakery items along with your sister. And the object of the game is to go find your sister without getting caught. But you also have to bake pies yourself to use as weapons. So you bake certain combinations of ingredients to make the pies be like weapons to throw at characters to prevent them from catching you and be able to move on and find out new things in new areas of the game to find your sister. So I did a first look of how that looked on there, how it played, and the first initial looks of it. So go check that out. And I gave it to Sam to go play more because he loves that kind of stuff. My youngest son, Sam. So hopefully hear some more about that if he goes to play that. And again, that's Cakey's Twisted Bakery. I've been playing, excuse me, Mario Tennis Fever some more, unlocking more of my training. I think I got through or about to finish rank E and moving on to rank D. Again, I think that's where Marty said he was about at there. So going on there, playing that some more. I'm having a lot of fun with that one. Carmageddon Rogue's Shift, playing that some more. I now have that on the Switch, so I've been playing that on there. I found that it is much better to play, and I find this with a lot of racing games, that it's much better to play with the Pro Controller racing game than it is on the Switch itself, because just the way the palms sit in there and the way that I hold and use the triggers for gas and brake and stuff, it just doesn't sit right. So I'm waiting to there's a couple products that I'm waiting to get to maybe try that out with. There's a new Pro controller, I forget what they call it, the split Pro Con type thing, kind of like Hori had, but this is a different company. The one that starts, I forget the name of it, Nyko or Nike, or I forget the name of the company, but they're advertised a lot on the internet. They're the ones that did a split GameCube controller that you can get for the Switch. They now have one of the first split Pro controllers that you can attach to your Switch 2. So it has the magnets and all that kind of stuff. So I'm waiting for something like that to try that out with. Or I know Genki has a Kickstarter that I think just finished wrapping up, where they have new grips that I'm going to want to try once we get those. So just kind of playing with different holds and being able to play the Carmageddon Rogue Shift handheld comfortably to be able to play that game. But still loving that game. Having a lot of fun with that. More Animal Crossing New Horizons on the Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Doing the turnip game. Having fun with my family doing that. And then Rayman 30th Anniversary Edition. I got through the whole documentary series on that and learned a lot about the Rayman game and how it was developed, how the character was created. And then played around with some of the games because I thought I played the original one and I never did. I was thinking of Legends, I think. So I never played the original. So it was good to be able to experience the Rayman game on the various systems, including Game Boy Advance, which is actually the one I like the most, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah?
So far. I'll have to play it some more. But those are the games I've been playing. So let's go on to the community spotlight. All right. So as we said before, a lot of the questions that we're going to be doing is more going to be dedicated podcasts where we answer your questions. So if you have any questions, please submit them so that we can, have a question and answer time probably once a month. It seems like it'll work out too. But if you have any questions about, your potential games of the year, I know it's only February, but some people are starting to run into some of those games that they think will be on their top 10 at the end of the year. Your predictions, what do you think is going to happen? And when do you think the first direct's going to be? What's going to be in that direct, or Nintendo's roadmap? What do you think is going to happen in the summertime? All those kind of things that we like to talk about, or that you have questions about, or even things that we've already talked about that you have questions about. Submit them. Because we will collect them and then have like I said, community Q&A, and we'll get those answered. And shout out to everybody who stopped in while Jesse and I were doing our Jesse and Tim show. Victara says, better late than never, but thanks for stopping in. And Darth Platypus has been in the chat along with Nimfrendo, who had to drop out and said he'll finish the show in the morning. People on YouTube, I am Tater86 out there. Thanks for stopping by. Quag311 stopping by, and Nathan Jamie. We said Nimfrendo, right? Nimfrendo, Ms. Beer stopped in. So thanks again, everybody, for stopping in and checking in with us and hanging out with us while Jesse and I are just doing the show. Marty and Justin are taking care of other things. So, Jesse, anything else you want to cover before we end the show?
I think I've said more than I probably should have for this show, but I can't think of anything else.
All right. Well, again, thanks for sharing everything you did, and hopefully it helps somebody. And we're here as dads learning from each other. So let us know in the comments if there's anything else you want to hear from us. And again, submit your questions. And don't forget, you can submit your questions via voicemail at 92925-NDADS or 929-256-3237. Christian, we haven't heard from you in a long time. Hope you're okay. All right, with that, first huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, and our anonymous Patreon producer and other 100 plus Patreons. Thank you all for what you do. And next to this, special thanks to our 18 Twitch subscribers and our over 1,489 Twitch followers, and a shout out to our 8,365 YouTube subscribers. We're on our road to 10,000 YouTube subscribers. I know we're going to get there. Just depends on whether or not we hit, like, every now and then we hit those little, we're on the down slower end of it, but every now and then we go up.
Yeah.
And
we're always gaining, but sometimes we gain slower than other games.
And then there's really fast times where it's like we just get like 100 here and 100 there, So who knows? We'll get 10,000 before we know it. Check out our website, nintendodads.org, for a list of our Nintendo Dads family of podcasts, such as Star Wars Dads and Retro Logic family of podcasts. They're part of our family of podcasts. We also share our favorite podcasts we like to listen to, such as Mega Dads and Dad Crossing. So there's all kinds of different podcasts to listen to that we recommend there. You can go there and also get links to our YouTube videos and tweets, links to all our social medias, our Patreon and our Extra Life pages, and our Nintendo Dads merch. We still have a little bit here and there, so go check out our pages again at nintendodads.org. And don't forget to check out our sponsor, manscaped.com. Get 15% off our Manscaped order with the code NINDADS. You can email us at nintendodads@gmail.com. And big thanks to OC Remix for the music throughout the show. Download from your favorite podcast app of choice, and please leave us a 5-star review and a comment, like on Spotify. doesn't have to be Apple. It could be Spotify, where you can use that anywhere. You can leave a 5-star review and a comment. Until next time, for me, Jesse, Justin, and Marty, check you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Do you know who I am?